this hunting season, I was lucky enough to get multiple deer, and this is one of them. And this is the story and how I made the sled that I used to walk it 2 miles out of the woods.
This actually works really well with the tree climbing harness on. Just need to avoid hitting any trees and all set.
So I couldn't tell at the time of harvesting it, but it was actually a button buck, tiny little antlers it's got up there. And that was a picture of the Subaru I held it out of the woods in. How do you clean the blood off the mat? Anyways, everything in this project is like completely gonna go to the trash. If I didn't actually, I actually took the boogie board out of the trash and it had been falling apart for ages. And the handles are because we used to go sledding behind the car if there was snow on the ground, and it's taken quite its fair share of beatings. The skis, I believe, I got from someone else was tossing those out, and I was driving by. I'm like, oh, look at that! And just grabbed them, attached this. It's all coming together nicely, and then the plywood I use eventually is actually also from the trash. So I mean, it's always nice when I'm able to reuse stuff and materials. I find it helps stimulate the creative juices by utilizing repurposed materials. Anyways, right here, I'm just removing all those little screws. There's a lot of them, and I managed to strip a couple of them. Now, there's already little screw holes made from the attachment points, but I need to drill those all the way through so that I can actually put in the much larger screws I'm going to be utilizing for this. And the idea is to kind of sandwich the board itself in the foam so it's not holding much of the weight, or actually any weight at all, by using the plywood as kind of like a washer. And the screw head is going to go through the ski side and it's going to come out through the wood. And it's going to pinch the board. Well, pinch the boogie board. And right now, the issue I'm realizing is the screws I had were not long enough and did not go all the way through the board, which I'm just about to find out. Not there. The tips like barely stuck out, but not even close to being able to grip it. So I had to use improvise a little metal piece, and I had to put the screws in reverse because only the front, 75% was threaded, so it wasn't really backing out of the foam. But I eventually figured that out. And then right here, what you see me doing, I'm taking a much larger drill bit and actually just widening the very top of the holes a little bit so that the heads will sit flat, flush with the skis. Otherwise, the screw heads will stick out a little bit. And this is actually one of the easiest methods I use for a lot of DIY, quick tossing something together projects. Is screw it all together and then come back in and worry about cutting them to length. And then right here, I am adding little indentations so that it makes it easier to put in eye washers this is what I was talking about. You come in here, cut all the screws. I don't do this on anything like finished, but if I'm tossing together something quick for the chicken coop or just a small temporary enclosure, I'll do this. And yeah, I did not realize at the time I'm shooting sparks out onto my shotgun. I've cleaned it since then, and everything is all good. Last thoughts on this. It worked really well. I took 2 deer out of the wood with this out of the 3 that I tried. The first one I took out in a wheelbarrow. Such a pain in the butt. Took it 2 miles into the woods over multiple stone walls. This actually does quite well over stone walls. And here is the second buck I took out. Much larger deer than the first one. And also really easy to carry out, especially if there's snow on the ground. But the main thing is it works well on flat ground uphill, but going downhill, you have to go slow. And I typically put the sled in front of me and I'll go down on my butt. If it's steep, like, it's kind of like you go down on your butt and slide down a little bit with the deer's weight pulling you.